The Justice Department says it will bring back firing squads and lethal injections for federal executions, and what they say is an effort to strengthen the federal death penalty. This just months after the DOJ lifted the Biden administration's temporary pause on federal executions. The DOJ says the changes are critical to, quote, deter the most barbaric crimes.
Good morning. So fun fact, Republican Congressman Tim Burchett is already publicly calling to bring back lynching. See?
Trump has instructed the Department of Justice to bring back firing squads as a method to kill people who have been sentenced on the death penalty. And he also wants to add electrocution and death by gas asphyxiation. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember seeing something like that in history somewhere. Let me take you back for a second. On January 20th, on his first day of office, Donald Trump signed an executive order called Restoring the Death Penalty and Protecting Public Safety. In Section 3A of that executive order, it reads, the Attorney General shall pursue the death penalty for all crimes of a severity demanding its use. Experts are warning that this broad language is meant to broaden the crimes that would count for the death penalty. And if you notice, in this executive order, there is a clear bait and switch, because while it says for all crimes of a severity demanding its use, right under it, it specifies the murder of a law enforcement officer or a capital crime committed by an alien illegally present in this country. This is a distraction to make you think that it's other people that are going to be affected, not you. But we know that's bullshit, because a lot of people said the same shit about ICE. They're only going after undocumented citizens who are criminals, until it's your door as a United States citizen that they're breaking down and removing you out of your house without a warrant. Or it's you as a United States citizen who is killed on the streets by ICE. And interestingly enough, Donald Trump is sending out his acting Attorney General Todd Blanche to push his agenda further and talk about the death penalty. Who got more specific about who qualifies to die by firing squad. He says it includes terrorists, child murderers, and cop killers, which is completely crazy to me, because I don't see pedophiles on that motherfucking list. And I don't see pedophiles on that list specifically at a time when there are allegations in the Epstein files that allege that a boy under the age of 10 witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating feces from these intestines. That little boy was also allegedly raped by George Bush, who was a Republican president of the United States, and that Donald Trump, our current sitting president of the United States, is also implicated in the Epstein files more than thousands of times, who was directly alleged by a 13-year-old girl to have participated regularly in paying money to force her to blank with him, and who was also present when her uncle murdered her newborn baby and disposed of the body in Lake Michigan. It's all bullshit. None of this is about public safety. All of this is about crimes against humanity and genocide. We all know that the death penalty in the U.S. disproportionately affects black and brown people, particularly when over 50% of the people that are on death row and are about to be sentenced to death are black and brown. That's what they meant when they said, "Make America great again."
Horrifying news. MAGA Republicans want to bring back public hangings as a form of execution during capital punishment. This comes just a day after Donald Trump and the Department of Justice announced they'll bring back firing squads for capital punishment. Now you've got top MAGA far-right extremists saying they want to bring back public hangings. Well, that's going to work out great for them when the modern-day Nuremberg trials kick off into gear, and the Trump administration and the Epstein class, they'll be the first ones to participate.
Okay, you guys. So on Friday, the Department of Justice wants to bring back the firing squad. All right. Some states already do it. Mississippi, Idaho, Utah, and another state. Oh, South Carolina. They do it already. And I didn't know Mississippi does the gas chamber. I didn't know gas chambers still existed for the death penalty. And they want to get rid of murderers right away so the public can be safe. But even though you put murderers in the ground because they got caught, doesn't mean society's going to be safe. So the Department of Justice announced it would be bringing back the firing squad and the lethal injection during Trump's first term. The department wants to restore the solemn duty to implement lawful capital sentences. They want to carry the death sentence out immediately after the inmate exhausted all of their appeals. The lethal injection they want to bring back has perpetual as the lethal agent and the firing squad as well. The Department of Justice threw out Biden's moratorium that stopped death penalties, especially the one with the lethal injection, because it brought, if they didn't die right away or they survived, but there's inmates that survived lethal injection, they would be suffering really, really bad. It would hurt them. So that's why Biden stopped death penalties. But since the death penalty got re-implemented in 1970, a lot of people, died by lethal injection. So when they did the moratorium and they kicked it out, they are now seeking death for 44 inmates. Todd Blanche is actively seeking death for 9 of the 44 inmates. That's crazy. These 9 inmates must have been dangerous. In January, Trump signed an executive order. Do y'all remember all the executive orders he signed when he got into office? He was executive order happy. Always had a pen in his hand every time you turned around. Yeah. Okay. So this was one of the executive orders that he did. So they want to commit to pursuing the federal death sentences. The district attorney has to make sure that each state has enough lethal injection drugs for execution. When Trump was in office the first time, he resumed executions after 20 years. And now they don't want inmates to petition for clemency. Right? And, I don't think taxpayers should be housing and feeding inmates and that commit heinous crimes, murder, child murder, whatever type of murder, especially if they kill like multiple people, right? Yes, they should be put to death immediately after trial, my opinion. But they just should take the ease off the taxpayer. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head.
And this is why we say black people live rent-free in white folks' head. Today, Wicks-RS administration introduced firing squads and gas chambers for federal prisoners who are on death row. And white people ran to the comments and said, let's bring back hanging. The only reason you would ask for fucking hanging is directly towards black people. I really wish white people who are not for this type of shit would speak up more. But I know y'all not, because y'all just trying to get along to get along. But let's be real. This administration is directly attacking African Americans through the system, through AI, through jobs, through food, through wherever they can possible. And hanging, I guarantee you, if that orange head motherfucker has the chance to do it, he will. I know there'll be lawsuits, but this white Christian nationalist administration is very much racist, very much Jim Crow, very much I'm for slavery. If I could put them back in chains, bitch, I would. Want to know why? Because I can't move them anywhere else. This is their home.
The Department of Justice wants to bring back firing squads for death penalty executions. And they also want to use lethal gas and electrocution as well as other methods of execution. And I genuinely feel like them even putting that into the media and putting that information into the news is basically them trying to fearmonger the public. I feel like that's a way of the system basically trying to keep everyone in their place. And basically, if something were to happen where there's a revolution and people are going against the system in extreme ways because people will finally at some point get fed up of everything that's going on, I feel like they're using this as a fear tactic so that people are afraid to literally revolt against the system, to act out against the system, to be against the system in any way. Like, I feel like that's literally the fear mongering that they're doing. Because why, during this time where so many other things are happening in the world that need to actually be taken care of, are they putting their focus on reintroducing methods of execution like firing squads, lethal gas, and electrocution? Why are they even discussing that? It just feels like so out of place, but I feel like they're genuinely doing that so they can literally fearmonger and make people afraid to go against this system, because now people will have in the back of their minds that they brought back all of these torturous ways of execution if you go against the system or if you do XYZ. You know what I mean? I genuinely just feel like the whole idea of it all is to fearmonger and to have people in a place of fear for what the government is capable of doing. I genuinely feel like that's what's going on, and it's actually fucking diabolical for real.